Chemistry between the cast is everything in a sitcom. Oftentimes, the best ensemble sitcoms aim to cast mostly new talent alongside one or two established names to lend star power and comedic credentials. For example, Community had Chevy Chase and Joel McHale, but the rest of the cast were fairly unknown before becoming household names, including Donald Glover, Alison Brie, and Ken Jeong. Sitcoms like Parks and Recreation, Taxi, and Cheers all helped launch a new generation of comedic talent. It's getting harder to find truly unknown ensembles these days, as studios want major stars up front. This has always been true to some extent, which explains the long list of sitcoms built as star vehicles for stand-up comics, from Seinfeld to Crashing. This list curates some of the best forgotten sitcoms that feature surprisingly recognizable A-list talent. Some of the shows were written for these stars at the height of their fame, but never caught on, while others happen to cast actors just on the precipice of breaking out into stardom. Either way, these shows have a lot to offer, beyond being interesting factoids on IMDb. What about Joan? 2001, Joan Cusack, Kyle Chandler, and Jessica Hecht. What about Joan? Was built as a showcase for Academy Award nominee Joan Cusack, who starred as an elementary school teacher navigating romance and everyday life in Chicago. The sitcom paired her with a pre-Friday Night Lights Kyle Chandler as her love interest, with Jessica Hecht in a comedic turn before Breaking Bad. On paper, it had all the ingredients of a breakout network comedy, but the cast ultimately proved more memorable than the sitcom itself. Critics were mixed on the series, though Cusack's performance was frequently praised. ABC still renewed it for a second season while aggressively searching for comedy hits and was willing to give a star-led vehicle produced by James L. Brooks extra time to find an audience. That audience never materialized. The show was cancelled after just 2 season 2 episodes aired, leaving 10 produced episodes unaired, an especially strange and memorable TV footnote. Cuckoo, 2012 to 2019, Andy Samberg, Season 1, Taylor Lautner, Season 2 to 4, and Andy McDowell, Season 5, BBC 3. Cuckoo is one of the rare sitcoms whose premise keeps reinventing itself while somehow holding together. The series is one of Andy Samberg's best roles. He plays the title character, an eccentric American drifter who returns from Thailand married to the daughter of a painfully conventional British family and promptly moves into their home. After Samberg exited after Season 1, the show made an unexpectedly bold pivot by introducing Twilight's Taylor Lautner as Dale, Cuckoo's long-lost son, whose earnest weirdness gave the sitcom an entirely new energy. Later, Andy McDowell joined in Season 5, continuing the show's streak of surprising casting choices. What could have collapsed after losing its original star instead became a surprisingly durable and delightfully odd British comedy, anchored by constant reinvention and Taskmaster UK host Greg Davies. Its willingness to get stranger with every season ended up being the saving grace of Cuckoo. Out of Practice, 2005 to 2006, Ty Burrell, Henry Winkler, and Stockard Channing Image via Everett Collections. Out of Practice is a fascinating what-if from Christopher Lloyd, co-creator of Modern Family, and it even features Ty Burrell years before his breakout role as Phil Dunphy. The 2005 CBS sitcom follows a family of 5 doctors who have very little in common and rarely get along. Burrell plays a very un-Phil-like role as the eldest brother, a self-centered plastic surgeon and committed womanizer. Happy Days legend Henry Winkler stars as the father, a gastroenterologist enjoying his post-divorce independence. Stockard Channing plays his ex-wife, a status-conscious cardiologist who still exerts influence over the family. CBS aired only 14 episodes during its original run as viewership steadily declined despite a strong lead-in from 2.5 men and a high-profile cast. Even with the talent involved, the show's traditional multi-camera family sitcom approach felt slightly out of step with where network comedy was heading in the mid-2000s. Stark Raving Mad, 1999 to 2000, Tony Shalhoub and Neil Patrick Harris. Between his roles in Wings and Monk, Tony Shalhoub starred in Stark Raving Mad as an eccentric horror novelist obsessed with elaborate practical jokes. He was paired with Neil Patrick Harris in the stretch between Doogie Howser and How I Met Your Mother, playing his reluctant editor, a tightly wound professional with a range of phobias. The chemistry between Shalhoub and Harris was widely seen as the show's strongest asset, with both performers already showing the range they would later become known for. However, it struggled to retain viewers after Frasier's lead-in and faced stiff competition from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? In the same time slot. Despite the talent involved, it failed to gain traction with audiences, relying too much on a familiar odd couple trope. Stark Raving Mad was ultimately cancelled after 1 season, with several episodes left unaired in its original NBC run. Future Man, 2017 to 2020, Josh Hutcherson, Ed Begley Jr., Season 1, Keith David, Season 1, Haley Joel Osment, Season 1 and 2, Seth Rogen, Season 3, Britt Lower, Season 1 and 2, and Catherine Lanasa, Season 2. Future Man is a sharp sci-fi time travel comedy starring Josh Hutcherson. He plays Josh Futterman, a seemingly average janitor whose elite video game skills make him the best chance to save the future. The cast is stacked across the board, from veteran performers like Ed Begley Jr. and Keith David to future breakout TV names like Britt Lower, Severance, and Catherine Lanasa, The Pit. Even Haley Joel Osment appears in key early seasons, with Seth Rogen executive producing and appearing on-screen in Season 3. Across its 3-season run on Hulu, the show constantly reinvents its timeline and setting, which allows for major tonal shifts and fresh supporting characters. This surprisingly elastic approach to storytelling kept Future Man feeling unpredictable and inventive throughout, even if it remains criminally underrated.